Greetings. This is the story of John Chapman, otherwise known as Johnny Appleseed. He was born on September the 26th, 1774. His story in Indiana does not begin until the 1790s. However, I will use the date of his birth to tell his story. Johnny Appleseed lived from September the 26th, 1774 until March the 18th, 1845. The son of Nathaniel Chapman and Elizabeth Simmons Chapman, John was native to Leominster, Massachusetts. His mother died giving birth to a son who died about 2 weeks after his mother. Nathaniel had enlisted in the Continental Army and was away at war when his wife died. Historians know little of Chapman's early life. He and his 11-year-old brother migrated west into the Northwest Territory in 1792. The two boys lived the life in the wilderness until their father migrated into the new state of Ohio in 1805. Apparently, at that time, John became apprenticed to a nurseryman who tended apple trees. Thus began Chapman's lifelong career. Most of the legends that surround Johnny Appleseed, the nickname that people gave him, involve him randomly planting apple seeds in the frontier. The truth is far different. Chapman foresaw that the frontier would expand west. By planting apple trees, he established a claim on the land on which they were planted. He moved ahead of the wave of settlement, planting apple tree seeds, a valuable commodity on the frontier. Thus, by the time he died in 1845, he had accumulated over 1,200 acres of land. By the time the apple trees were ready to sell to incoming pioneers, the pioneers had arrived to buy them. Chapman moved through the wilderness, choosing his land carefully. Once he found choice spots, he would clear a section, fence it, and plant his seeds. Every couple of years, he would return to the site to tend the seedlings. He worked mostly in the states of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. When the pioneers arrived near his nursery, he would sell off the trees, then much of the land. He sold his seedlings for 3 cents each, 7 cents if he wanted the buyers to allow him to plant the trees. The apples he planted were not the familiar types found in grocery stores and orchards today. These apples were hard, tart, and nutritious. Pioneers used them to make cider, applejack, apple butter, and other frontier staples. Chapman was a devout Christian and member of the Church of Sweden, known as the New Church. During his travels, he served his church as a missionary, spreading his message to isolated pioneer homesteads, where he frequently boarded, and to the natives he encountered as he traveled. He would spend his evenings at a homestead spinning stories and telling about his faith. His belief spurred his celibacy. Chapman never married, believing that God would reward his abstinence in heaven. Chapman lived in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area from the mid 1830s until his death in 1845. His orchard, about 12 miles south of Fort Wayne, on the banks of the Maumee River, held about Greetings. This 12,000 is the trees. story of He John died in Chapman, Fort Wayne in otherwise known as 1845 Johnny as interred Appleseed. in He Johnny was born on Appleseed September Park the in Fort Wayne. 26th, You can find Johnny 1774. Appleseed Park at His story in 1500 Indiana East does not begin Coliseum until the Boulevard in Fort 1790s. Wayne. However, I will use the date of his 46805. birth The to tell his 31-acre story. park serves as his Johnny final Appleseed resting lived place. from The park is September home the to the annual 26th, Johnny Appleseed 1774 Festival in until March the September. 18th, You can find
1845.
out more
The
about the
son of
festival by
Nathaniel
calling
Chapman
and Elizabeth Simmons Chapman.
260-427-John
John was native to
6720
Leominster,
or
Massachusetts.
on the web
His mother died giving birth to a son who died about 2 weeks after his
www.johnnyappleseed
mother. Nathaniel had enlisted in the Continental
JohnnyAppleseedFest.com.
Army and was away
The
at
next
war when his
episode
wife
relates the
died.
beginning stages
Historians
of
know
the
little
American
of Chapman's
Revolutionary
early
War.
life. He and his
To find out
11-year-old
more
brother
about Indiana
migrated
history by
west into the
purchasing the
Northwest
book
Territory in
Indiana's Timeless Tales,
1792.
Prehistory to 1781.
The book
The
includes
two
the
boys
early history of Indiana from
lived
the
the
time
life in the
glaciers
wilderness
melted
until
until
their
the
father
final days of
migrated
the
into the
Revolutionary War. The book includes sketches of the native tribes that inhabited the state, as well as French outposts established during colonial times. You can find it on my website, www.mossyfeetbooks. There are links to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, and other online booksellers. Purchase the book in ebook or softbound versions. An audiobook version is available on Google Play. Residents of southeastern Indiana can find my books at the Walnut Street Variety Store on George Street in Batesville. At the conclusion of this series, I will compile the episodes into an audiobook. The audiobook will be available on Audible, Amazon, Apple, Barnes & Noble, as well as many other audiobook sellers. You can also order these books directly from me, the author, on the webpage. If you wish me to sign the book, just send me an email to mossyfeetbooks@gmail.com requesting assigned books. and instructions on how you want me to address it. Note, if you send me an email, I will add you to my contact list. Readers on the list will receive an email from me announcing when I publish a new book. If you do not want me to add you to the list, tell me and I will not add you. Listeners to this podcast that want an email notification of my new releases can just send me an email requesting addition to the list. You can choose to have your name removed at any time. If you browse the website, you find dozens of sample chapters, one for each of my books. I hope you enjoyed this podcast.